Senators, Jenna, are now backing a move to rethink part of the U.S. Constitution. They say illegal immigrants are abusing the 14th Amendment. It grants people who are born on U.S. soil automatic citizenship. Critics claim changing it would undermine basic American values. Let's talk about it now with South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. You're one of those raising some questions about the wisdom of that. Give us your argument, Senator.
Well, one of the basic American values is to be a welcoming nation, but to be a rule of law nation. The 14th Amendment was passed in 1866 to prevent states from disenfranchising the freed slaves. The amendment says if you're naturally born a person under the jurisdiction of the laws of the United States, you're automatically a citizen. That protected the free slaves. Fast forward 160 years, we've got people selling trips across the border. They'll sneak you into America, go to an American hospital so you can have your baby here, and that baby becomes an American citizen. That incentivizes illegal immigration. Rich people from the Mideast to China to Europe are flying in, buying a visa for 90 days, going to a resort with a hospital in the resort to have the baby, turn around and leave so the child will be an American citizen. I think that cheapens American citizenship. So let's clean this mess up. Let's make sure we don't have 20 million more 20 years from now, and let's look and see if whether or not this law makes sense, because I think it doesn't make sense. It incentivizes people to break the law. We should have a pathway to get to this country that's legal, and people shouldn't be rewarded when they break the law.
Well, what happens with those so-called anchor babies? Once they are born here, they become automatic
citizens.
Right, they become automatically American citizens. But does that then give their parents a leg up in trying to get citizenship for themselves?
Well, what it does, it grants citizenship in a way that I think is not good for the country. Yeah, the parents are coming over here to have the child for the purpose of being attached to the country. I want you to be attached to America on our terms, not yours. We just can't have people swimming across the river having children here. That's chaos. So that's why they do it. People from China are spending $35,000 to spend 90 days at a resort in California to have their child in America, turning around and leaving. That child has an American citizenship given to him just because he was born here. If you have a child in France or Britain as a tourist, you don't get to be a citizen. So these are all the wrong incentives. So what I'd like to do is clean up the mess we've got. I'm not talking about stripping citizenship from people who have it. I'm talking about a new process in the future that's orderly, that welcomes people here. We need more legal immigration, but if we continue this practice, we're going to have 20 million more 20 years from now, and I'm not willing to do that.
Let me read you a quote from the other side of the aisle and get your reaction. Sure. The majority leader, Democratic Senator Harry Reid of Nevada, says Republicans are either taking leave of their senses or their principles in advocating repeal of that part of the 14th Amendment. How do you respond?
Well, have I taken leave of my senses by looking at a law that rewards people who break our own laws, that incentivizes the next wave of illegal immigration? Am I being unfair to say that we're going to grant citizenship on our terms, not yours? Am I being unfair to say that we don't want laws in place that will require the third wave of illegal immigrants to be dealt with? Most Americans find it odd that if you break our law, come to one of our hospitals, have a child, and that child becomes a citizen and we pay for the hospital stay, you turn around and leave, that's not a really logical way to grant citizenship. Most Americans are offended that you could buy a visa, come over here, have your baby in America, turn around, leave, and you get citizenship through that process. I don't think that makes sense. Most countries don't do it. There are people in Iraq and Afghanistan fighting for their citizenship as green card holders. So I would say to Harry Reid, if you think it's a good idea not to fix this, then you can't look the American people in the eye and say we've dealt with our immigration problems, because we will have not dealt with our problems.
We'll keep watching this battle as it goes on. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, thank you.
Thank you.